Good morning and welcome to Sports Shorts Daily on a Wednesday. I'm Tommy Chrysan. Glad to be here. Glad to have you there as we middle of the week. Big weekend last weekend. Big weekend coming up this weekend in college football, the NFL. The Ryder Cup gets going on Friday up in New York. Got some bad weather rolling in there tomorrow. The opening ceremony will actually be this afternoon. USA versus Europe. So many things happening in the world of sports. Today, we got Derry Beckwith pinch hitting for Ronnie Rance, who's away from the microphone. Good morning, Derry. How are you?
Good morning, Tom. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing pretty good for a Wednesday. I think we got some more rain coming into Baton Rouge today, so I kind of got the old pair of tennis shoes on because I know it's going to get a little bit wet. Derry Beckwith, national championship middle linebacker for LSU a few years ago. Derry, it's getting like more than a few years ago. You know, I mean,
Look, this is the second time you and Ronnie has joked about my age. I'm like, you see that wine behind you? You see that wine? I'm
yeah.
just like that fine wine, baby. I don't age.
I like it. No question about that. All right. Well, as always, we're presented by LeBear's Casino and Hotel in Baton Rouge. Will we be Saturday for radio? Keep in mind, right? Saturday radio will be 12:30 to 2:30 due to the LSU kickoff at 2:30. So Saturday morning, Hunter McCann, Derry, myself, Ronnie will be in Oxford for the game. We'll have the radio for you from the ESPN Bet Sportsbook at LeBear's on Saturday. So don't forget about that. And of course, I'm live and in color today from Tremonti's Meat and Seafood on Jefferson Highway, right down from Parkview Baptist Church and School. $6.99 every Wednesday is the burger and fries. Can't beat it. They're really great hamburgers, fries. You can eat it here or you can get it to go. It's all at Tremonti's Meat and Seafood. And of course, Tremonti's has all your tailgating needs, or you're watching the game with friends, or friends are coming over to your house. They got all the food, the meat, the seafood, the wine, the liquor, everything you need. All right, let's get back here with Derry Beckwith, talk about LSU football. LSU played Name That Score with Southeastern last week, clearly a more talented football team. But Derry, what did you take from first the LSU defense against the Lions of Southeastern?
I thought the defense played exceptional again. They didn't play down to their competition. They came out and did what they were supposed to do. I do know that they still wanted that goose egg. I know they had the backups in the second half. They did give the touchdown, but those guys are continue to play at an elite level on all in all phases, D-line, linebackers, and secondary. And Blake Baker is doing a good job of making sure these guys stay focused, that they have continuity, and they have integrity and a character. I've talked about that a lot. Having integrity and character on defense speaks volumes on why these guys are playing so well. And also, they've been extremely physical. They've been extremely communicate really well now. So I'm extremely pleased with this defense so far. They've done nothing to make me think, whoa, pause for concern or anything like that. And obviously came away with no injuries. So that's always a good thing when we have a game like this.
Well, and Derry, you talked for many weeks about physicality on defense. I mean, you got the offense has got to know you're out there to make them earn every yard, every first down, every point they might get. Are you seeing the physicality that you've been looking for?
I am. I'm seeing physicality, and I'm seeing guys flying to the football. The thing about defense, it never should be one man making the tackle. It should be five or six guys around the football. And I'm seeing a lot of white jerseys and yellow helmets around that football wherever it's at. So they're like a pack of wild dogs chasing a hamburger meat, and they're getting after the football. Defense is not hard. It's not complicated. Old slogan that one coach told me a long time ago: see ball, get ball. That's it. See the ball, go get the ball. Everything else. The thing about defense, you can make a mistake, Tommy, but effort can eradicate that mistake. So these guys are playing with tremendous effort. Also, they're playing with tremendous technique. They have a lot of veteran leadership on that side of the ball with guys who have a lot of experience playing the game of football in the college level. So again, I think if they continue to elevate, continue not to listen to guys like me and you saying how great they are, stay level-headed, continue to get better, and keep that that 1-0 mentality every week, I think they'll be just fine.
Well, you know, I had a friend tell me last night. He said some plays it looks like LSU's got 12 guys out there. That goes to what you said: fly to the ball, have a lot of helmets, and making the tackle and being close to the tackle, whatever it might be. Now, Derry, let's shift to the other side of the ball. I was hoping I would see a better running game the other night from LSU. against Southeastern. Now, that Proctor kid, the defensive lineman from Southeastern, he's going to be in an NFL camp, okay? And he'll probably stick on a team. He is the real deal, okay? And somebody told me about him before the game. Of Southeastern fans, man, go watch this Proctor kid because he wreaked havoc on LSU. He had a big game, but LSU still couldn't run the football. I get it. Proctor's an NFL player wearing a Lion uniform. Go the other way, but we still got to figure out how to. They're going to have to run the ball against Ole Miss Saturday.
They will. I'm still concerned about the run game. Like you mentioned, we couldn't run the ball against Louisiana Tech, and then people talking about the 3-3-5 defense gave us fits. And Tech does have a great defense, but I'm thinking about the level of competition that you have. So if you can't run the ball against Louisiana Tech, you can't run the ball against Southeastern, what makes me think, or fans think, that you're going to go into Oxford on a Saturday afternoon and run the ball effectively? So that's something they have to get figured out quickly. The only way, Tommy, they can run the ball at a good rate or a good pace is to do a lot of creative things in the backfield, meaning having fly motion with Xavier Thomas, maybe some design wildcat where you have a receiver at quarterback. That's the only way I think that they're going to be able to to establish a run game, because right now, just lining up and saying, hey, block the man in front of you and dominate, that's not their strength, and they can't do it right now. So that is my concern about this offense. Now, we can talk about Nussmeier and how he looked great and he has some zip on the ball, but I've been watching this game for a long time. You've been watching it for a long time. I played this game, and that's especially in the SEC. If you cannot run the football, especially in the second half of a game, if you can't pick up a first down on 3rd and 1 by running the football, you're not going to win a lot of football games. So they got to do something creative offensively to make sure that they can run the ball, because if not, it's going to be a struggle, because now you get into the meat of your schedule.
Of course, Lane Kiffin, the coach at Ole Miss, pretty good offensive mind. His track record speaks for itself. I told a friend, the same guy I was talking about, looked like 12 guys in the field last night. So, hey, if this defense can keep Lane Kiffin's offense to 20 points or less, then this defense is really real. Okay, if somehow Ole Miss rolls up 35 or 40 points, because Kiffin's going to figure out his way to try to exploit the defense or what he sees as the weak spot that he can capitalize on. So if this defense can handle that, and it's on the road, there'll be a lot of LSU fans in the house. Ole Miss only a 1.5 favorite now. It was 2.5, and that's going to be a big measuring stick. And it's a conference game.
In the NFL, every week we had a defensive goal, and the goal was to not allow more than 17 points. That was the goal in the NFL. I feel the same way right now about this LSU football team. Yes, we are undefeated. Yes, we are in a position to be successful, to get to the playoffs. But right now, as it stands, I feel like this defense, and to your point, Tommy, they cannot give up more than 17 points. I feel like if they give up more than 17 points, then it's going to be a dogfight, and it's going to come down to the last play. Because right now, I don't have confidence in our offense. And people can say, well, they got on track against Southeastern, but let's not kid ourselves. We're talking about the level of competition, and that's not a shot. A diss to Southeastern, because I was talking to someone the other day. When we talk about that, like Southeastern, Nicholls State, it's not that those guys are not good, because you have individuals on those teams who can play on LSU. The D tackle we just mentioned at Southeastern, that guy can play and start anywhere in the SEC. As a collective, those teams don't have as much talent. And so that's what I'm saying. Okay, collectively, you can't run the football on these teams like Southeastern or Louisiana Tech. I just don't have faith that they're going to run the ball against Ole Miss. And okay, you score 50 points against Southeastern, but okay, that's something you're supposed to do. So until the offense proves me otherwise, I'm saying our defense is going to have to carry us, and maybe like the old school Ravens defense that year with Trent Dilfer. Remember that defense where they didn't even have to score a lot of points. I don't know how dominant this defense can be, just because the game has changed with the RPOs and the spread offense, and these offensive coordinators are so smart and intelligent. But right now, everything is dependent solely on their defense side of the ball, and make sure these guys stay healthy and we don't give up a lot of points.
Of course, the SEC is changing the schedule format going forward. Everybody knows that story. Going to be 9 SEC games. And the 3 annual, they're not calling it permanent because they're going to reevaluate every 4 years. The 3 annual opponents for LSU will be Arkansas, Ole Miss, and A&M. And I think that's a good draw for LSU. I mean, the whole Arkansas thing since they joined the SEC in the early 90s, We all know the LSU Ole Miss story, and it'll be blown up and magnified this Saturday. And then Texas A&M, a lot of history between LSU and the Aggies as well. Your reaction to what the SEC is doing schedule-wise?
I like what they're doing. I think they're trying to make a statement to the playoff committee, saying, "Look, we're going to a 9-game conference schedule. Also, we're going to schedule a Power 5 out of conference, so they have to either schedule somebody in the Big 12, ACC, or Pac-12. So, which is a good thing, or the Big 10. So they're letting the playoff committee know, look, we want as much to give you as much as on our resume when it comes to you guys picking a team to get in the playoffs that our resume looks good. So I know what they're doing. I get what they're doing. For LSU schedule, I kind of wish A&M wasn't in there because A&M's kind of new to the SEC and it's not really. I kind of miss those old LSU Auburn rivalries. I think people talk about Ole Miss and people talk about Alabama, but Alabama really wasn't a thing until Saban went to Alabama. Like when I played there my freshman and sophomore year, it was just Alabama. And it became a thing kind of at like 2 or 3 years after Saban was already established there. But those Auburn games, Tommy, were barn burners, and no pun intended. Like, I don't know one time, like it was the Demetrius Bird throw. It's just so many battles I talk about all the time with Kenny Irons, how those battles were, and just that game to me was so physical, so dominant. I mean, you were leaving out that game with a busted up lip, a cracked knuckle or something. Those games were so physical, so violent, and that's where I wish they would have kept Auburn on the schedule. Not seeing LSU and Auburn, it is kind of weird, and to see A&M. But other than that, they did get a good draw, and we'll see where it takes them.
Yeah, we'll let that play out, and people are going to talk about it. That's fine. That's what the SEC wants, is you to talk about all 16 teams, the schedule, and this, that, and the other. Elsewhere in college football, big one Saturday night, Alabama's at Georgia. A lot of people think Georgia's kind of got a leg up in the early call of winning the SEC, so that'll be a big game. Derry Beckwith, let's talk New Orleans Saints, and we're not going to be long on the old Saints. They're 16.5-point underdogs on the road against the Buffalo Bills this week. That's a big, big number in the NFL. Not in the college. We got twice that point spread sometime. But the Saints just looked awful the other day. I watched the game against Seattle. Seattle punched them in the mouth early numerous times. No response from the Saints. It's a bad football team.
Can you imagine being in the NFL locker room and you wake up and you see that you're a 16-point underdog? Like if you look at the NFL, it's always like 6 points, 5 points, 2 points, but a double-digit underdog lets you know what Vegas and what people think about this football team. And right now, they're just not a good football team, and they never really played well in Seattle. I mean, I think it's time zone change and flying way up to the Pacific Northwest is never.
They went Thursday. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Coach Kellen Moore said we're going to go get the time change out of our system and have a little bonding, and I like that idea, but it didn't matter.
Maybe they had too much bonding. Maybe they went out. Maybe they went out. So I don't know what happened, but it's not a good football team. We knew coming to the year that the roster was not complete. The roster wasn't put together. So this is one of those things where. Sad to say, it's going to just be one of those seasons where the fans are going to put the brown bags back on their face until we get the right personnel and the right players that we want in there. So I think, Kellen Moore, he was thrust into a impossible situation. So just like Kalen DeBoer, Alabama, like you can't replace Nick Saban. And then for Kellen Moore, he was given a horrible roster. And right now, even at the quarterback position, I don't really know if you have a franchise quarterback in the draft that you can go get right now. And I mean that honestly. I know he had a lot of hype with a lot of guys, but right now, college football, I can't pinpoint and say, you know what, that guy's going to be a franchise quarterback. That guy can turn it around. I don't see that yet. So they got to figure something out, either groom Tyler Shaw and get him some playing time. And I think Spencer Rattler, for the first 2 games, put them in position to win the game. It's not really his fault, but they're 0-3. So when you're 0-3, it's kind of like, okay, well, Mama's give another guy a shot. So they're old. I think they're slow defensively. They're not physical. And offensively, they have no identity. They have no receivers. They can't catch. They can't do anything. They can't run the football. So I don't know what they're going to do except pray and hope for 2026.
Well, they gotta play at Buffalo this week. Then the Giants come to town the following week. If there's a little chance to win, Giants are going to start Ole Miss. Jackson Dart at quarterback this week. They pulled Russell Wilson to the bench. So, thinking ahead, maybe there's a little chance to beat the Lions. I don't know. Hey, backing up to college football real quick. Mike Gundy was fired by Oklahoma State. People need to think about what I'm about to say. Mike Gundy is the head coach who replaced Les Miles at Oklahoma State when Les Miles left Oklahoma State to come to LSU, and of course he coached you. That's how long Gundy's been at Oklahoma
Yeah.
State. But it's been an awful start to the season. The last couple of years have not been super in any stretch, although he did a lot of good things years ago at Oklahoma State. But it's coming down to, can you afford to fire the guy? Can you afford not to fire a guy? And, college football, in a way, is a mess with the NIL and the portal. It's a little bit of a mess, but Gundy's out after 21 years at Oklahoma State.
I mean, to be honest with you, he has nothing to hold his head about. In today's landscape, to be at a school for 21 years speaks volumes for him and what he's done for that program, and he's made that program relevant. To be honest with you, he had a lot of great players that have come through there, and he's done an incredible job. But like you said, the past few years, they haven't really been successful. This year, they're just not good. Like the program is going on a trajectory that I think the university doesn't want to see. I know they lost the big booster and I think TK Boone, I think that's his name.
T. Boone
So
Pickens.
yeah, T. Boone Pickens. And so it's just it's not going the right direction right now. So I think it was the right change. You don't want to wait till the end of the season. Give him his flowers. I think they still should keep him on as an administrator in the athletic department just because of the respect of being there for 21 years.
In the days of a guy being at the same college for 20 or 20 more years, we're not going to see that again.
No.
Very rare. Maybe some little small college somewhere might have that happen, but in the FCS, that ain't happening. I mean,
Right.
in the FBS, it's not going to happen. Hey, Derry, a couple of things before we get out of here. Ryder Cup starts Friday. USA is a favorite over Europe. A lot of people will be watching that. Major League Baseball playoffs start next Tuesday, so we'll talk about that a little bit as we go forward. Derry, tell us all about the games you're going to be working this week. You work 2 high school games a week on TV. Tell us where you're going to be and tell people how they can watch you and your crew.
All right, so tomorrow we're going to be in the LHA Network. You can download the app, LHA Network, or you can go on YouTube and stream that game live. So tomorrow we'll be in Donaldsonville for Dunham and Ascension Catholic. Get an opportunity to watch Dunham's quarterback, Elijah Haven. It's going to be a great matchup. And then Friday, we're going to be in Lafayette as Neville takes on St. Thomas More. And that's on Cox Channel 4 with YurView. Also, you can stream that game on YouTube as well. So looking for exciting matchups for Thursday and Friday. It's going to be it's a great time of the year. I think high school football is probably one of the most innocent, purest things that you can ever be a part of. I tell people all the time, my time in high school was the best time of my life. And people look at me crazy like, wait a minute, like LSU, you playing in front of 100,000 people, but it's nothing like a Friday night. The band playing, the fans, the friends, and just it's memories that you cannot take back. And so I always tell every kid that's in high school to cherish every moment that you have and play every down like it's your last, because those are moments that you cannot get back.
Well, as you know, I've announced hundreds and hundreds of high school football games over the years and worked many, many others. And there's nothing better when the school bands are there, the dance team, the cheerleaders, and then the guys that out there just playing, and the coaches work just as hard as any other coach and staff that you're going to find. High school football, very special, and I'm happy that you're involved with it. Derry, tell us about the Derry Beckwith Foundation and the many great things you're doing for young student athletes.
Yeah, so the Derry Beckwith Foundation, we help progress the lives of middle and high school student athletes. And we do that by developing them with different skill sets outside of sports. Every child thinks they're going to play in the NFL or go play a long time in some form of profession when it comes to sports. But we want to let them know that's a very small percentage and that you can still be successful by doing other things. So we set them up with internships with different companies. We've done resume writing, financial literacy. We've opened up bank accounts for a few of our students. We also probably provided meals to over 1,000 student athletes in the Baton Rouge and surrounding areas as well as part of our appreciation initiative. So we're just helping out any way we can. If we can help one, we can help 1,000. So extremely excited for it. People can go to DerryBeckwithFoundation.org to get involved and find out more information about it.
DerryBeckwithFoundation.org. We want you folks to check that out. I've been to the website. I made a donation last year. I got to get that done again this year. All right, Derry, we appreciate you joining us. And remind folks, this Saturday we're on the radio 12:30 to 2:30. A little bit of the time change due to the LSU kickoff with Ole Miss at 2:30 in Oxford. And Derry will be part of hour number 2, 1:30 to 2:30. Hunter McCann and I will handle hour number 1. Derry and I will hour number 2. ESPN Radio, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and Lake Charles. We want you to check that out. Derry, appreciate you pinch hitting for Ronnie Rance today. Ronnie will be back Friday for another episode of Sports Shores Daily. And Derry, we hope you have a very nice day.
Appreciate the time and see you Saturday, brother.
All right, that's Derry Beckwith, National Championship linebacker. On behalf of Derry and Ronnie and I, we hope you have a wonderful day. Sports Shores Daily returns Friday morning. Ronnie will be back behind the microphone. And, of course, as I mentioned, radio time change for this Saturday, 12:30 to 2:30, ESPN Radio, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, Lake Charles. Do like and share this show, whether you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, or X. Like and share this show. That helps everybody involved. I got some rain coming into Baton Rouge today, so be careful with all that. Although, as I look out the window here at Tremonti's Meat and Seafood, the sun's out right now. Don't forget, Tremonti's has the lunch special today, $6.99 for their wonderful hamburger and fries. You can get burgers to go here. You get a box of them, like $50 for a dozen of them. And then everything you need for all of your tailgating, your home gating, your game watching. They got all the food and drink you need right here at Tremonti's. Meat, seafood, wine, liquor, and more, bourbon, shrimp rolls, ribeye rolls through the roof. 20 different flavors of sausage here at Tremonti's. They can do it all for you at Tremonti's Meat and Seafood. As always, we've been presented by the LeBears Casino and Hotel in Baton Rouge, where you can make your bets on college football, the NFL, Major League Baseball playoffs start next Tuesday, and much, much more. Don't forget the Edge Lounge and 18 steak, everything at the casino. All right, that's going to do it for this edition of Sports Shores Daily. Like and share the show. Thank you for watching. I'm Tommy Christ saying have a good day, everyone.